Okay, this Saturday, Willie Nelson and a star-studded lineup of performers will be putting on an Independence Day tradition that actually dates back more than 50 years, Willie's 4th of July picnic. This year, it's out at Germania Insurance Amphitheater here in Austin at the Circuit of the Americas. It features guests from Sheryl Crow to Billy Strings. I could go on, but the picnic actually has a history in Central Texas that's become really a part of our musical and cultural heritage. So here to take us back in time a little bit is Dalton Thomas. He authored the book Picnic, Willie Nelson's 4th of July Tradition. Dave, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you. I really love to talk about the picnic and happy to take part.
Okay, so take us all the way back to the beginning, because a lot of folks may know what's going on this weekend. They may not know how it got its start.
It has its roots in the 1972 Dripping Springs reunion, which was held in March of that year. There's a 3-day fest. It went bust. It didn't do very well. But on the last day, the Rolling Stone reporter who was there asked Willie, hey, would you do this again? And Willie, looked at him and said, if the same folks was running it or if someone else was? And that may have been the moment when he was thinking about starting that picnic. And, fast forward to about June of '73, he finally decided we're going to do it. And of course, from there on out, it was just last minute panic. Willie and his gang of family and outlaws and everybody he kept around him weren't exactly planners. And so a big thing that a lot of people might not remember is that the staff of the Armadillo World headquarters played a big part in putting on that inaugural picnic and got it off to a great start, attracting the counterculture crowd that separated the picnic from other country music festivals.
And so we know it only grew from there in the next couple of years. You talked to a lot of folks who were there, though, in those early stages, 73, 74. Is there a story that sticks out to you from folks who were there at its inception?
Oh, absolutely. Of course, the best stories can't be told on TV, but Billy Joe Shaver told me this one in 2006. He was at the inaugural picnic in 1973 in Dripping Springs, and he said that he had spent the night before sleeping on the floor of the Armadillo World headquarters, and he told me he'd been bitten by a brown recluse spider. And he said by the time that he got to the picnic site that he was hallucinating and thinking he was Jesus. And he was going around healing people and baptizing them in mud puddles. Of course, I've seen the pictures from that site. I know there was no mud puddles there, but when Billy Joe Shaver gets going on the story, he can't really correct him. But he went on and he was absolutely out of it. And of course, I told one of his fellow songwriters, Lee Clayton, that story. He said, "Oh no, Billy Joe just took a bunch of acid." So when it comes to the first picnic, all we know for sure is that Billy Joe was there, but he wasn't all there.
Some Texas shenanigans, if I've ever heard any. Okay, so we know the festival really started to gain traction from there. This year it actually marks 50 years since some of the festival's maybe darker moments. It gained a reputation there in the later 70s. Talk about some of what the festival was navigating and how the people in the community in Central Texas were responding at the time.
Well, when the county commissioners around Gonzales, Texas, were voting on whether not to hold that picnic, allow that picnic to be held there that year. A county commissioner from Williamson County, the year before, had been in Liberty Hill. He came to Gonzales to testify against it. That's how strong their feelings were on how wild that event had been. It was not the country music festival they were expecting. And it happened the same way in Gonzales. 80,000 people showed up. It was the biggest picnic. It was the wildest and most infamous. The county commissioners in Gonzales actually voted against it. And it took a personal appearance by Willie ahead of the show to resurrect the picnic. And it turned out to be exactly what the opposition had feared. Drugs and stabbings and crime. It was really the height of the outlaw country music era. And a lot of the fans were taking that literally.
So we have to talk about the festival and how it's grown over the years, and really the impact, though, that it's had on Texas, on country music. I think this year's festival, of course, falling in line with America's 250th birthday, too. Talk about the impact that the picnic has had on our culture, really, as Texans and Americans.
Well, I'm in Texas all the time, so I can't really speak as Americans. A Farm Aid is really kind of the American festival that Willie puts on, and it's a much more serious thing. Uh, the picnic has been a reunion between Willie and his closest friends, and as part of that, the picnic has been part of how the part of Willie that is about his love of Texas music, about how he wants to help his friends, about how he wants to help young performers. And it's become part of our Texas mythology. And it very much, probably has helped some careers along the way and possibly paved the way for some of the annual music festivals we have today.
Okay, last question. I just have a few seconds here left with you, but we've got a lot of new folks here in Texas and in Central Texas specifically. What's one thing you think they should be aware of if they're heading out to the picnic for the first time this weekend?
If I named my book after the very first thing everybody told me, it was going to be, it was hot. It's a different scene these days. Of course, that's necessary because society is different, but it's going to be hot. I'd recommend, drinking lots of water and just being, prepared to take in all different kinds of music, because that's what Willie's about.